Good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome you back to another edition of Foreclosurepedia Podcast. Foreclosurepedia Podcast, presentation of the Foreclosurepedia Radio Network, which premieres each Sunday evening at 2300 hours. This evening we have a special edition of the podcast, which is also a screencast this evening, and that's because of the fact that we've received a tremendous volume in communications dealing with many of the regional companies out there whom are beginning to refuse to pay contractors. And rare as it is, Foreclosurepedia actually was recently burned by a contractor, or correction, by a regional vendor. They're also contractors who were working directly for a prime, and the prime has refused to do anything as well. So that's why we're actually doing this evening, and we're hoping that this gets passed around. The internet really should be blown up on this, because at the end of the day, no matter who has these contracts, nobody has the right to steal from another person under the guise or the auspices of a federal contract. So to give you a little background, I wanted to start off with Franklin FDR Roosevelt's statement here. The liberty of a democracy is not safe if the people tolerate the growth of private power to a point where it comes stronger than their democratic state itself. That, in essence, is fascism. Ownership of government by an individual, by a group. That is precisely what we are seeing and what you are going to hear unfold tonight. The corporations have become so emboldened. They feel they are so untouchable. And it is my belief that perhaps, this is an opinion and it is a personal belief, I believe that the representatives of government have become co-opted. I want to talk a little bit tonight. I want to walk you through an email. This is an email that we sent out to CWIS LLC. They are the corporation that controls the HUD contract under 3.0. They are based out of Colorado Springs, Colorado. We contacted them because we did work for an outfit called PPMS South. Jason Mathis owns it, and Brandon Lambert negotiated the contract with us, with Crystal Mills, the owner, in the room, and with her father present as well. To this day, they refuse to pay us. CWIS stated, well, we can't do anything because you didn't work for us. And then it became, well, we can't do anything because you've signed a different contract. Nobody can seem to find these contracts. And as you can read here, we decided to go ahead and file a notice of intent to lien. Now you can see right here the properties down in Alabama. And Alabama law is pretty specific on liens. Now, there's going to be a lot of people out there whom are going to say, well, you know, you can't file lien on government property and you can't sue the government under the 11th Amendment. And I beg to differ. Henson and Melton, attorneys at law, have actually drafted some paperwork up on this. First thing you have to do is notify the contracting officer of Prime's failure to make subcontractor payment. We actually did that. And what we did was we contacted Craig Carnes in Atlanta. If anybody wants to contact him, you know, for similar reasons, call him, email him. Mr. Carnes has avoided us for a week and a half now. He refuses to return phone calls. He refuses to return emails. This is the man who signs the HUD contracts. He's also the man who signed the PK management contract. I always thought the government was of, by, and for the people, and when people are being screwed, are being stolen from by government contractors. I thought the government was supposed to make good on that. Mr. Carnes, I have no idea what his thoughts are, because Mr. Carnes chooses freely, willingly, and with overt intention not to return emails or phone calls. So if you look here, these are the people that pretty much control most of HUD. Now let's talk about the companies. This is PPMS. Once again, Brandon Lambert is the COO there. We can take a little walk through here about us. It says it was founded by somebody by the last name of Scott. Was it or wasn't it? I don't know, because really there's no paper trail. It just appeared one day. We do find out here, Jason Mathis, this is an individual whom we were told is a veteran, whom we were told is disabled because of the war. And we haven't been able to verify any of that. That was one of the main reasons we actually chose to do some work for them. You know, we thought, you know, surely a disabled veteran, you know, honorable, you know, shoot, let's do some work for them. Like I say, so far we can't verify any of this. We don't know. PPMS entered into an agreement. It's an outfit called CWIS. Excuse me, CWIS is the company that held the HUD contract for what used to be 6A out here. And so we went down to a town called Dothan, Alabama, down along the Florida border. We went down to Phoenix City, another town we went down into. And what we did down there was we did an initial service, just maid service, cut the grass, a couple lawn cuts, another initial. So we called CWIS. We actually contacted a lady by the name of Megan. You can see right here. She's an accountant. It's the only person who had ever talked to us. There's another female accountant who got real snotty with us. Other than that, nobody's ever wrote us back. Nobody's ever said a word. They said, well, we'll pay you maybe in 30 days. And I said, you know, the HUD contract ends. So I'm going to memorialize our claim. I said, we're going to attach your performance bond. I said, you cannot refuse to pay contractors. Now, they haven't returned a single email, so I don't know what's going on. They responded initially as we go down in through here. And just to recap a little bit, let me show everybody what we have here. This is the invoice that was actually drafted by PPMS South. They attest to the fact they owe us money. This batch of orders here, Zion apparently is a company that their money man, who was posting performance bonds for them, spun up. We did some work in the past for AMS REO, and they'd asked us to go do these properties. We said no, and it dealt with other issues. And Brandon had called us, and he said, if you can go get these done today so I don't have to drive up, we'll pay you on the same check, and we'll make sure you get that money immediately. And I said, you know, I can't put people out in the field, you know, and just pay them out of my pocket unless you're going to send me the money. Oh, yeah. I mean, we're going to get it right out to you. Yeah. Now, to date, the only thing that we really have gotten is a paper trail. Just a paper trail. Once again, Craig Carnes refuses to do anything. Premier Metro will not even return a phone call. They won't return an email. We are going to make it our absolute mission as a company to sue these people into the Stone Age so that they can never again do this to another contractor. Each one of you out there tonight listening and hearing my voice, each one of you should do this as well. When a company refuses to pay you for the work you have done, whether you need to get legal counsel, whatever you need to do, you need to sue these people, and you need to blow the internet up. Blow up Twitter, blow up Facebook, blow up LinkedIn, blow up one of 100 million different social media sites. Get the word out. That way other people do not get burned. Now back a little more on point. Let's actually talk about whether or not subcontractors have rights. Now, Craig Carnes' position is that there is no doctrine of privity within federal contracts. Doctrine of privity in a nutshell means that there are no third-party rights, rights bestowed upon a third party. Well, you can see right here as we're reading through this case, and this is in the United States Court of Appeals, they tended to disagree. And you can see right here what we're talking about. The contractor failed to pay its subcontractor for goods that the subcontractor supplied to the government. Now, that's what we do. We supply goods. Now, whether those goods are labor, RV antifreeze, whatever it might be. I'll let you see this again. You guys need to go out and read this. Now, this is just one of many cases. There's a process called shepherdizing. You need to shepherdize the cases. With that said, the succinct point on this, these right here are, for want of better words, legal bound volumes where it deals with how the courts will or will not, hang their hat, so to speak. We can see right here, although the parties debate the scope of third-party beneficiary principles as applied to government contracts, it is not necessary to explore the outer bounds of third-party beneficiary rights in order to resolve this case. The third-party beneficiary in that situation has traditionally been referred to as a creditor beneficiary and has been accorded full rights to sue under the original contract. Now, we have the right to sue. We need to, both individually and perhaps at some type of class action level, bring litigation against these people. I want everybody to listen to my words very carefully. We need to come together as a group. We need to begin to track these companies that are refusing to pay. And we need to begin to show a pattern that is going on. To quote an old adage, all roads lead to Rome. I believe if we track the money, all roads will lead to a collusion. Make no mistake about that. It is wrong for anybody at any point in time to steal from another human being. And to do such during the holiday season is even more unconscionable. I do not know what Mr. Mathis, disabled veteran that he claims to be, I do not know what Mr. Lambert thought that they would accomplish. They were uniquely positioned to actually make some runs on contracts. They chose freely, willingly, and with overt intention to defraud Foreclosurepedia. We will not stand for that. Ever. I'm hoping that all of you out there tonight and in the future that hear this will leave some, get a hold of me. COO@foreclosurepedia.org. I will do everything in my power to assist you in suing these people. That's the biggest deal with the industry today, you know, by and large. And I've had to deal with some nationals in the past, and they've paid out. I've never dealt with anybody like this CWIS. You know, this guy claims to be a veteran out there in Colorado. I don't know what type of service he belonged to, but apparently the branch that he served in, if it existed, has no honor. No honor. Give me a shout out, folks. Let's put this thing together. Let's get the wheels in motion. Let's put an end to this. Let's put an end to this. It's been another edition of Foreclosurepedia podcast. Appreciate everybody tuning in this evening, and I hope you all have a good evening.